Hello and welcome to VR Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the Marvel Select Silver Surfer. So yeah, this essentially just came out and I've been waiting for it for quite some time, and for the most part I'm not disappointed. It's a pretty good figure. It comes with lots of cool accessories, a nice base, and pretty much all the stuff that it said it was going to whenever it was first announced. So that's cool. I have a very minor complaint. Well, it's not really that minor. It's a complaint about the articulation, which I'll get into later. And apart from that, it's really, really cool. I am a huge fan of the Cosmic Universe and Silver Surfer, and as a lot of people might know, Galactus is one of my favorite characters, so yeah. Anyway, he is really cool, so let's go ahead and zoom in for the articulation, sculpt paint details, all those sorts of things. Alright, starting off with a quick size comparison, here we have Silver Surfer, Silver Surfer, Silver Surfer, and Silver Surfer. In other words, there's Marvel Universe Silver Surfer, Marvel Legends Silver Surfer, Marvel Select Silver Surfer, of course, and this is a 10-inch Silver Surfer from the Silver Surfer cartoon animated series figure line. I would say the best looking one is the Marvel Select one. The best articulation obviously comes from the Marvel Legends one. Size-wise, Silver Surfer is taller than Marvel Legends, and therefore in Marvel Select scale, but of course is nowhere near as big as the 10-inch one there. And there's the Marvel Universe one over there, which I have nothing interesting to say about. Anyway, let's get all these other Silver Surfers out of here and just look at the Marvel Select Silver Surfer. Alright, here we have Silver Surfer. He's got his head up here, which we'll zoom in on a minute. If you're looking for sculpt or paint variety, you have come to the wrong place, because Silver Surfer's not going to have any of that. He's got really nice muscle definition, though. All the anatomy and stuff is sculpted properly. He actually has the briefs sculpted on there instead of it just being sort of a neuter empty area down there, because originally he did have those. I don't really know why, but he did. Hands-wise, he's got sort of two slightly different outstretched finger kind of hands. He comes with some other hands as well. I'll show you those later. Apart from that, not really a lot of detail there, just muscle definition and silver paint. As he is the Silver Surfer, he does not require a lot of work to look like Silver Surfer. Probably something that's very good for customizers if they want a blank Marvel Select body. You've pretty much got one now. Anyway, let's zoom in on the head sculpt real quick. Silver Surfer's head sculpt, as you might expect, is in fact silver. He has no hair. He has a pretty standard sort of expression. He's got white eyes in there. Doesn't have any ears. Nothing much to look at, just sort of a standard, solemn kind of expression. I have no issues with it. I don't know, I feel like his face maybe actually should be a bit more angular or something. It seems a bit rounder than I feel like it should be, but it's not like a big complaint. Anyway, let's zoom out and look at some articulation. Our articulation-wise, Silver Surfer is pretty good. However, he is missing one point that really annoys me, and then two other ones that could be useful. Head-wise is the first one, because his head doesn't really tilt back very far, and it doesn't really go down that much, but really should tilt back further for like flying and stuff. Shoulders are nice, ball joint in and out, forward and back. Bicep cut, single joint elbow. Could bend a bit further, but it's not too bad. Wrist hinge and rotation. He really could use a diaphragm joint. Waist cut, and then he's got those terrible hips that move in and out and then forward at an angle and have no cut here or anything, or a different kind of joint to make it actually useful. It's really, really annoying. I hate that. It's the same kind of joint I just did on Captain America the other day. It's really, really annoying. Should have not done that. Double jointed knees, ankle hinge, and pivot. So, yeah. If he would have just had those hip joints, he would be fine, but I've got to really, really stress the fact that it's very, very bad to not have good hip joints. Especially on Silver Surfer, because he's got to kind of straddle the board and be in surfing positions, and it's really annoying. Anyway, he comes with a lot of accessories, as well as 2 extra hands, so let's move on to those really quick. Alright, hands-wise, he comes with 2 of these flat, open hands here, for nice surfing kind of poses. Then he comes with one that's slightly less flat, sort of curled thumb kind, and then he comes with this holding hand that I'm not really sure what that's for. So, yeah, reasonable amount of hands. They're hands. They're useful for doing things. I'm not really sure what the holding one's for, though. He doesn't really come with anything to hold. You might could bend the fingers and have him hold the board with it, maybe. But apart from that, I really don't know what that's for. Also, kind of hand-related, but not actually a hand, although it is an interchangeable hand. You can put it on him if you want to. He comes with the Infinity Gauntlet, which was not announced to my knowledge, so that was kind of a surprise. Of course, it's really nicely detailed. It's got sort of a leathery kind of texture to it, and it's got all the gems in it, of course. It's in a fist position. Just turn it around like that so you can see the front of it, or the underside of it, or whatever. Anyway, really cool. I like that he came with that. And then we move on to the base and the board. Alright, here's Silver Surfer's base and his board. His board is, of course, removable from the base, or else I would not like that very much. Of course, it looks like Silver Surfer's board. It's got 2 pegs in there. It's got the line work down the center on both sides. And that's really cool. It's silver painted and everything. And then the base is like this kind of cool cosmic wave thing. And you sort of slot the board down in there, and it's on this nice little rocky floor here, which also has a peg here and 2 foot-shaped crevices to stand him on if you don't actually want him on the board and you just want him to stand on the big rock wave thing. So that's very cool. Also, I forgot to mention something, so let me move on to that real quick. He also comes with these 2 cosmic energy blasts that you can fit over his hands and use them to fire down upon evil or not evil or whatever Silver Surfer happens to want to fire at the time. Anyway, those are pretty cool. That is all for the accessories. So let's move on to the packaging. Packaging wise, Silver Surfer comes in your standard Marvel Select packaging. You got your big window up here, Silver Surfer along the side. You got your Silver Surfer logo down there at the bottom. Silver Surfer artwork on the side. On the back, picture of the figure, description, 2 other figures that have been re-released actually, which are Ghost Rider and Green Goblin. I have Ghost Rider. I need to review him at some point. I don't have that Green Goblin, and I don't really think I'll get him. But I have the other Green Goblin, which I've reviewed, who was pretty cool. As always, these are good for in or out of package display, so yeah, Silver Surfer. Alright, so that about wraps it up for Silver Surfer, so until next time, goodbye! Hello, you've just watched one of my videos. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed my videos. If you didn't, run away and never return. Also, feel free to check out my other channels, Venom Raptor for all my variety gaming content, and VR Reviews for reviews of various action figures and collectibles. Thank you, and goodbye. So yeah, this essentially just came out, and I've been waiting